security products and service desk. Ilgaz is responsible product manager for Endpoint Manager. This webinar will demonstrate together real-time detection and prevention capability against threats with Italian and Comodo Client Security. We will start demonstration first, and we can take your questions at last 10 minutes. On chat part, we will add forum link for sharing your webinar requests, so we can add our weekly webinar topics and answer questions about this webinar. Also, after webinar session, we will send the webinar record via email. During this webinar, we will create new profile and add sections, antivirus, monitors, and external device control. Also, we will talk about additional section different from next week as OS patch events. And after create monitors and alerts, to send alerts email and create alert tickets. Ilgaz will create reports for antivirus results and create reports for malware list report. And I will run a malware and mount an external device for creating alerts. At last, we will check email, notification, and service desk ticket board. Ilgaz will start with Endpoint Manager configuration first.
Hello, everyone. Let me share my screen first. Zeynep, hi. Okay, you should be seeing our Endpoint Manager portal. So today, as Zeynep told before, we are going to first create a custom alert. And for that, we first go to configuration templates and alert section. And we create an alert, we give a name. And click create button. And here it opens with general tab. For later use, we are able to clone this alert. We can delete, and we can turn or turn off the alert so that when a monitor is triggered, if the alert state is turned off, then the monitor, even if the monitor is triggered, there won't be any notification or anything. So on alert settings, this is the place where we configure our alert settings. So since this is an alert for critical incidents, I don't want to select this option because this option will not create additional alerts about the same issue for a predefined amount of time. So I want every alert to be shown, and I want to get notified about every critical incident. I want to create notifications on the portal, and also I want to create alert tickets on service desk. I have two options actually. When a same alert appears again, this option will allow append to the original ticket so that there won't be separate service desk tickets about the same issue. And also, I want to enable automatically the closure of the ticket when the metrics go below the threshold. And I also want to open the tickets under incidents department, which is created under service desk. If you want, you will be able to synchronize the service desk departments with ITER in Endpoint Manager so that all the departments will be shown on this drop-down list. And I want to choose so that the ticket is opened in critical priority. And I also want to send the device data, performance metrics, and connectivity metrics. And that's all. So I need to save it. And from additional recipients tab, you will be able to define additional recipients, or you will be able to select when to send emails. So I want to always send emails, and I want to send all alert emails to portal administrators. Plus, if you want, you can enter some custom email address. You can enter as much as you want. And also you will be able to send alert emails to related users and click Save. Now my alert is configured. The second topic that we will cover is creating monitors. So we want to monitor our devices for security events. So I need to create a monitor. I will just click to create monitor, and I will give a name. So our first monitor is about malware detection. I'm choosing Windows. You will be able to choose Windows or Mac OS for monitors. So on General tab, I will be able to edit or change the name of my monitor. I can give description. I can change the folder that this monitor is located at on Endpoint Manager portal. I can choose whether whether this monitor to be triggered when all of the conditions are met or any of the conditions are met. So I want to choose all of the conditions are met. And here I need to assign the alert setting, and I need to assign the alert that we have just created. So I just start typing and it appears. And if you would like, you can set auto remediation task when the alert is triggered. When you choose run below procedure option, you need to just type procedure name to be executed just after the alert is triggered. So I don't want to take any action. And on conditions tab, I need to add a condition. The name of the monitor is malware detection, so I will add malware detected monitor. So it's located in security events, and here you can see malware detected option, and I just click create and then save it. I can add more than one condition for a single monitor, but today I will describe each condition as a separate monitor. On Profiles tab, you will see the profile list which this monitor is attached to, and on Log section you will see every log when this monitor is triggered. So I have created a malware detection monitor. So now I want to create another monitor which is about external device control. Again, I choose Windows. And on Conditions tab, this time, again, on Security Events, I want to choose New Device Blocked by Device Control. I click Create, and this is now my second monitor is created. I could also add this condition to the previous monitor that I have added, but I want to show you different kinds of monitors. So now I have created two monitors, and what I need now is to create a profile. So I go to Profile section, click Create, and create Windows profile. I give a name. Click Create button. Here, profiles appear with only General tab. On General tab, I can change the name, I can give a description, and I can choose whether this profile will be set as default or not. When this is enabled, all the new newly enrolled devices will get this profile by default. So now I need to add some profile sections to my profile. First, I want to add antivirus section. Be aware that when you add antivirus section, the endpoint will require a restart once this profile is applied to that device. So it will need a reboot in order to fully get the profile details from the server. So I click confirm. And now I need to choose the default settings to be applied. I can either use default settings or I can import from a predefined profile as well. So let's use default settings. And now antivirus section is added with default settings. I can enable or disable real-time scan, and I can enable or disable some other options. So I need to enable this one because I want to get all the antivirus alerts. And when this is enabled, all the threads will be quarantined by default and it is not changeable. So if I deselect this option, then I can either choose to quarantine the threads or block the threads. Here on scan section, I can define some scan options. The first 4 is added by default, and I can add more custom scans by clicking to add button. And I can also define some exclusions so that antivirus won't scan those items. Sorry. So then when all the settings are complete, I just need to click to save, and then antivirus section is added. Another section that I want to add is containment section. Containment section is also requires a reboot on the device. So again, I want to use the default settings. And here, the default settings does not enable, in default settings, auto containment is not enabled by default. So I want to enable it so that unknown files will be executed in containment. Therefore, even if the file is a malware, actually, the file won't be able to harm the original real device environment, since the file will be executed in sandbox. So I don't want to change anything else here. Again, on Rules tab, I can define some rules for containment. I can enable baseline, so information about the unknown files would be collected over endpoints and submitted for further analysis. I can define virtual desktop options here. And on protected data, I can add some file path or file groups. And again, protected keys. I can manage my registry entries. And after all the configurations are complete, I just click save. and Containment Section is also added. Another section is External Devices Control. This section enables you to have a control over any kind of pluggable devices so that you can manage and control your endpoints and you can deny any access to external devices plugged into your endpoint. I want to enable device control. I want also to log the detected devices. And also I want to show notifications when devices are disabled or enabled. So here I need to configure some block device classes. So I just need to click to add button. And for example, let's block USB storage devices. So whenever a USB storage device is plugged into the device, the endpoint, it will get blocked and nothing can be done on that storage device. So I just click OK, and I click to Save button. Also, if you would like to, for example, define some exclusions to some predefined USBs, in this case, you can add those to exclusion list and by just entering the device ID of the device, unique device ID, so that only that device will be enabled for the endpoints. So I just click to save. And now external devices section is also added. And lastly, I want to add patch management section. So on patch management, you will be able to turn on or turn off operating system patches and third-party application patches. So, for example, when you enable turn off the third-party applications patch management section, it means that Endpoint Manager will not check and handle your third-party application patches over the portal. So if you want to have, for example, if you want to disable Endpoint Manager operating system patch management, you just need to turn off the patch management system, and in that case, for example, you will be able to, if you are managing your patches on, for example, Visus servers, then you will be able to continue to manage operating system patch managements on your own. So I don't want to turn off the patch management, and I just need to click Save. And that's all for configuration of our profile. And what is needed is I just need to assign this profile on my devices. So I go to device list, I choose a device, and I click to manage profiles. And here, by clicking add profiles, I just need to select one or more profile to be added and click save. Then the profile is assigned to that device. So in order to check whether the profile is pushed onto the device or not, I just go to device details and click to associated profiles. And here I will see about the status. I see when I see successfully processed, it means that the profile is sent to the device and it's actively working. So now I want to show you some of our security reports. And to do that, I need to go to Dashboards and Reports section. And I need to generate, for example, let's generate a Windows Antivirus report. And later we will see about Windows Malware List report. And also I want to show you Windows Top Malware report as well. So our Windows Antivirus report is ready. So in order to download it, I need to click to the name of the report. And you will see the report details and click to download link. And it's downloaded. Let me open it. Here you will be able to see all the devices that Comodo Client Security agent is installed, and you will also see the presence of a malware in that device ever. So infected doesn't mean that the device is actually infected, but a malware was catched and it was prevented so that the malware did not harm the device itself. But it's just a terminology so that you will know that this device, a malware was catched in this device on 2018. And you will be able to see the MAC address and the details about the antivirus last scan activities. So let me check if the other reports are ready. Yes, they are ready. So on Windows malware list report, let me open it. You will see the malwares that are found on your system, including its signature and file path. The file path is, of course, related to the device that the malware has been found, and you will see the device name also with the detection date. So this report consists of all the malwares in your found in your environment. And also let's check the top malware report. And here you will see the again malware files with signatures and location, and you will see the number of devices that this malware was found on. So this is actually a summary of your environment security, so that you will be able to find all the again the files that have been catched by our security product. So that's all that I want to share today. Now Zeynep will present you a live demo for the profile that we have created and how our system catches a malware, and how our system provides top security for your environments. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ilgaz. I will start with an external device, which is a plugged-in mount in my device. And this is the same rule with Ilgaz created before. We have a block device for USB storage devices, and I will plug in to my computer, and we will see the alerts and the notification part. I have a CCS on my computer, and I have a edit device control with USB device storage, and I plugged in that USB device, and you can see that USB device has been disabled by CCS. And after blocking the devices, we will see logs and the notification part inside our profiles. I will start with notification part. This is before I created. You can see the date we received it, and an external device detection has been executed on the device which I have now. In the device list, we have monitoring logs, and we have all monitoring rules we have as a list, and which how many count we hit this monitor, and the last hit time, last update time, and details information. This detailed information makes us to see logs, tickets, and statuses for our monitoring rules. For example, I plugged in at 5:30, and the status is off, and new device blocked by device control monitor. You can see the details here, and you can see the all logs we catched for the monitoring rule we created by the time. And the tickets, which is we created, as Ilgaz said, which created a ticket with option. So we are creating ticket for the rules we created now, and this one is created now. And also by clicking this link, we can go to service desk directly, or we can go and open statuses, and we can see the status of the monitoring rule we have. And we can also go service desk. This ticket is closing directly because as you can see before that it's closed already, and this is the number we see before. These tickets are closing because service Comodo Client Security is directly blocking and taking the action we want to do. So the ticket is creating and closing directly. And we can see details for ticket information, our email address and users, device name, closed by automated agent because CCS already blocked this attempt. And as a ticket action, we can see the features we can write and close, or we can post reply for the ticket. Under ticket thread, we can see the date and ticket closed information. And also under external device detection monitoring triggered on device name of profile name. And this details is as Ilgaz showed, while we are creating our monitoring rules, we are selecting show device data, performance metrics, and community metrics. This comes from the ITSM integration part. It will show us our usage and our connectivity metrics with also our device details. So we know that which device, which date, and with all the details inside service desk, we can see the closed tickets and also the other information for our attempt. Also, as I mentioned, that we can see under devices. This is my device, and under logs, we can see under monitoring logs, we can go and find our logs and see the details, the same I showed you before. And the second, we will run a malware and catch the malware, which Ilgaz created a malware handled rule. This is our CCS agent, and I will run a malware. This is a malware we added for testing purposes. I run the malware, and this is the malware we catched before. And the malware is quarantined for now, so we cannot run this malware again. This is quarantined here, and I will show you that. I will start with notifications first. Any report has been saved as malware. This is a malware report, sorry. Malware on Windows device. We catch the malware as a notification, and we can see current malware list with file hashes and the application name and signature and the detection dates. And by clicking device name, it will direct us to devices, and we can go Antivirus tab under device list. And we can see quarantine files as I showed you before we catched it. We can request quarantine files if it is not come portal. We can send request and pull the give the count quarantine files also. And we can see details of the malware. We can delete this malware from the device. We can restore, or we can rate as unrecognized, trusted, or malicious as an admin rate. This is our admin ratings. And also we can see Comodo rating is unrecognized for now, this malware. And the other section we can see is we can go security dashboards, and we can see the device name we run the malware, and application, and the file names and details for the specific malware, and we can see the ratings here. And under file view, we can also see the file. We have one file I ran before. So inside one device, I have one malware, and this is the details for, by clicking this link also, we can see the file details. And inside device view, we can see the devices and a number of files, and additional info is showed us. It is malicious and quarantined inside the device. I will go and click this file name, and we can see that this is file details and Comodo rating, and we don't set any admin ratings now. We can action on endpoint, that delete file or restore file. This is the same action we for the other screens. And also we can change admin ratings for file from here also. We can download a Valkyrie report. It's our integration with Valkyrie, and we can check the Valkyrie details for this malicious file. And also we can see inside antivirus section, as I showed before, current malware list. We can see the malware we catched before. And I want to show you that service desk option. Inside service desk, we can see malicious files. If we want to create tickets, we can come service desk and see the detected malwares. This is quarantined malware, so it will close directly by ITSM integration. And this is the same with external device access we showed you before. We have the details of the device, and we have the data, which is malware handled monitor, malware detected inside this device. And with these details, you can see the details inside service desk also. Under endpoint manager also we can see under our profiles, and we can go directly to our antivirus options, and we can see the details also. We have events for malware detected. This is the logs for security events malware if we detected, and this is the profile details for the events for the malware. And also we can check if we select the emails, we can go and select our emails. The service desk mail is come already while I was running external device already. I forget to show an external device detection. This is the same with service desk ticket details. As you can see, we have the same ticket information from here. And this is the created ticket number I showed you before. And this is the additional details what we have inside service desk. This is all for demonstration part for this webinar. I will stop sharing my screen and so we can continue to questions. Ilgaz already replied, Chris. Ilgaz, there is a new question. Can you please guide how to enroll new remote device?
Yes, sure. Let me share my screen again. And also for there is another question. After creating the new profiles, how can we apply the new profiles to all endpoints, or how to push the new profile to all endpoints? So I will let me share my screen first. Okay. So here you have a device list, and in here you will also be able to manage your groups. And for example, this group has 13 devices, and I can manage and assign profiles to device groups as well. So when I choose a profile here, it means that this profile will be applied to all of the devices in that group. So you can manage, actually assign profiles to multiple devices by this way also. And here you can also remove any profiles. By the way, you can add more than one profile to a group or a single device. So let me show you how to enroll new devices. So on device list, you will see the option to enroll device button. Also, by clicking the plus icon, you can either create user or again enroll device. So you have two options. You will see a wizard with 4 steps. You have on the first step, you have two options. You can either enroll the current device, or you can choose to enroll another device. Here, you need to specify a user. It can be a previously created user, or you can just create a new user and the enrollment details will be sent to that user's email. So let's choose current device. Here in the second step, we have two options. We can either enroll and protect, which we highly recommend. In this case, both communication agent and security agent will be installed onto that endpoint. You need to choose a platform. The platform is detected automatically because I have chosen to enroll the current device. So I only have the options for Windows 10, or I can choose just enroll option. This will only install the communication agent, where you can manage your devices and apply remote monitoring conditions. Also, you will be able to use our patch management and a third-party patch management, of course, but you won't be able to use our security functionalities since you just chose to choose enrollment without protection. You can enter a new custom device name, or you can just fetch the original device name to be shown onto the portal. So when you choose enroll and protect option, the system will ask you to push a profile. And here also, when you don't choose a profile, then the installation package will be prepared with default profile with the latest version. And you can also choose to send another profile. Here, you will only be able to choose only a single profile, but later you can add more profiles to that device. And on this section, you will configure the reboot options since you are installing the security product, which requires a reboot after installation. You have to choose the reboot options. You can either force the reboot in selected and desired time, or you can decide to suppress the reboot. In this case, the security client will be installed, but it will require a reboot to be function properly. And also you have the option to warn about the reboot, but let the user to postpone it. And you will be able to enter a custom message to be shown on the endpoint. And when you click next, the third step is generally the enrollment information. So you can change here the configuration that you have done. And the last step is the download of the installer. So when the installer is downloaded, you just need to click it and wait for the installation to be completed. And then you will see that your device is enrolled and ready to be used on device list.
Profiles, what's the difference?
Profiles, yeah.
Yeah, this is the cyber security level is more secured. Level 1, 2, 3, and we have 3 levels, and this is predefined. Admin cannot change this predefined profiles, and we can only clone. This is a default by our system, and 3 is the more secured level for our system.
Yeah, level 3 is recommended for mission critical systems because it has an extensive security precautions installed. So you need to be careful about the profile levels. How can I disable the two-factor authentication on platform with 50 device? No, with the latest security improvements, you need to define a two-factor authentication option mechanism. You can either use an authenticator application, or you can choose to receive two-factor authentication codes over SMS messages, but you cannot disable two-factor authentication if you have an account with more than or equal to 50 devices. Are there any other questions? Chris, yes, of course, we will be discussing about the phone application in a separate webinar. So you will get notified about all webinars actually and the topics that will be covered on each webinar, so that you will know when that webinar will be held. Yeah, iOS application actually remote control for iOS devices is in progress. So let us share the latest news on forum about the development and possible handover date. Wake Online is also on our roadmap, but it's not in short term right now, so it will be probably delivered in midterm.
Uh, for what this apps, Rob, I see now, yes, we have to add this. If we want to change the settings, you have to apply for all profiles. Under profile section, we have containment section for all profiles. So we have to change the settings for all profiles and apply the endpoints which the device have. You're welcome. So if there is no more questions.
One more question, I guess. A way to set Windows 10 native update settings on clients to not interfere with Italian OS patch management. You don't have to put Windows 10 native update settings because actually Italian OS patch management works like this. So the agent communicates with Windows Update Service, which is by default installed on the endpoint, and fetch the all the possible patches, and then push all the patches to the server to be listed in patch management section. So we also use the Windows Updates software on the endpoint itself. Is there a way to block Windows 10 2004? So what you want is only Italian patch management to manage patches on the endpoints and not Windows itself? yeah, currently we cannot control the Windows Update server on Itarian portal. So if you use a vSUS server for Windows updates, then when the device, when Itarian checks for the patch, it automatically connects to the vSUS server because it's defined on the endpoint itself. So whether it's a Windows Update service or vSUS server, Itarian Patch Management will get the updates from the way that you configure us to get the updates. So if Endpoints is communicating with vSUS server, then our communication client will also get the updates from there automatically. So I guess can Comodo push software suite like Office 2019? We are working on that to be able to add the support for software suites, but currently we do not support pushing the suites as a whole. So we can push separate applications, but not whole suites. So I guess that's all for today. Thank you everyone for joining our webinar session today. Hope you stay safe and well. See you on next week.